Welcome, No Cuts Kitchen. I am making onigiri with all the fixings. This is not traditional by any sense. This very much fits into my, cooking style, which is reckless seasoning. So, let's get started. First things first, pot of water on. Get that thing boiling, because we'll need to come back to that in a while, and I need that water boiling. Leave that for now. This goes to the side. Alright, first up, spice mix for the meat. First things first, I need togarashi, or at least the closest thing I can get to it without having to go to a specialty store. So, crushed red pepper flakes, ground up into paste, or powder. If you don't have one of these, I got one at like a CVS for like $10. It's been doing me great. Or the ever-present Amazon. Could go a little more. Really want to try and get those seeds kind of starting to break up. And I don't know if you've watched other videos, but I am not some pro. I used to be a sous chef back in the day, and one of my dad friends cannot cook to save his life. These videos are for him primarily. Next in is the sesame seeds. Actually, I'm almost out, so last of my sesame seeds. So these videos are for my buddy who can't cook, so I'm not trying to do this in some professional way. The camera angle is really just some chest rig I had, so it is what it is. And it gets kind of pasty, so just kind of scrape it a little bit. That's all I need my mortar for. We'll come back to you. Next up, a little garlic powder, just because who doesn't like garlic on their steak? Here's where it differs from togarashi. Togarashi's like chili flake, some sesame, some seaweed, but I got seaweed coming later with the actual onigiri wrap. Flavor enhancer, or more commonly known, monosodium glutamate, or that MSG, make shit good, as Uncle Roger says. I'm not using salt on the steak, so I prefer the MSG, especially in a dish like this. And then I like a little bit with the white pepper, just has a earthier flavor to it. It is strong though, you don't need a lot. That'll go on the steak in a minute. Our water is getting there. and the fun of having family. Fridge is packed full. Alrighty. Got what was on sale, but bottom round a little tougher, but that's what the baking soda is for. Makes it a little leaner, or tenderizes it a bit. But these are perfect. Try and get them all pulled apart. Some new gloves for this next part. So adding the baking soda and our spice mix. I forgot to open up my new gochujang, fermented Korean chili paste. I absolutely, be careful, don't touch. Love this stuff. Umami, spicy, so good. So if you can't tell, this is a spicy beef, and with the sesame seeds, and the chili flake, and the gochujang, and what we'll be cooking the beef in, you're going to see it's spicy. Let's get all of our meat kind of unfolded a bit. I can hear our water boiling in the back. So the water that's boiling, that is for a very special topping that I absolutely love, because I can't do the other thing that I wish I could, which is put raw egg yolk on top of everything at the end for that gooey egginess, because America is shit with their egg. So instead, I do the onsen tamago, or the hot spring egg. And it requires getting some water to a roaring effing boil, getting some eggs, turning off said boil, and actually let me get my slotted spoon, because I have messed up some eggs in the past with this. Just slowly get it in there. You don't want it to crack. And these eggs are going to take a nice jacuzzi bath while we're cooking. And that's it. You just leave them and come back to them like 20 minutes later or so. But I'll say, let's just wait till we're done cooking, because it's the last ingredient anyways. So that should give us plenty of time. clean as we go. I'm still going to need those for a little bit for later. So in the meantime, let me think here. Rice is next. So I found that about a cup and a half of rice is good for about 8 rice balls, which is what we're going for tonight. Gonna make a little bit extra rice though, just because my kid likes rice. I like rice. I might make something easy tomorrow for breakfast with some rice. Can't go wrong with some egg fried rice. So we'll do 2, call it 2 1/3 cups of rice. You'll notice a lot of this dish, I do not measure the rice. I'm like barely measuring. Clean as we go. Put stuff away as we go. Now, unlike when most cooking videos, it'll talk about the rice and they'll say, wash it. And then they'll say, wash it again, and wash it again, and wash it till that water comes out clear. That's when you're trying to get rid of all the starch. This time, though, we're trying to keep that starch. So I'm just doing 2 really light washes, because we want the rice to stick. And I'm willing to sacrifice a little rice to the bottom of the rice cooker, or in this case the Instant Pot, so that I can get that sticky rice for our rice balls. And you don't need the knuckle above the rice with this. This is an Instant Pot I'm using, so it's essentially a pressure cooker, so you don't need as much water. You need about as much as you put in with the rice. So that will do it good. I just like to kind of evenly spread the rice out. And we'll get that going. In the meantime, let's get our steak going. Some sesame oil. So this is where the double sesame comes from. Sesame seeds on the marinade, and then sesame oil for the cook. Just a little pan because I don't have a little section for the middle of my oven. Water in the back is for the curry sauce, so let's get that boiling as well. Move my meat to my little, I love this little slot of metal because I can put stuff there. We don't need, oh, I almost forgot the cornstarch. Oh my goodness. So, the baking soda is the secret trick to make meat tender. The cornstarch, let me turn that way down because I forgot a step. The cornstarch, let me try and get this as laid out as possible here. Makes the meat kind of crispy. Get on there and just spread it a bit. Flip the pieces so that they get kind of contact coating. There we go. Alrighty. I almost forgot the cornstarch, man. Now these are really thin cuts that I got, so they're going to cook really fast. and now that all the spices can go back in the pantry, I have room for that. Because I need a place to put everything as it's coming off the stove there. Used to work in a very small kitchen, so something this size actually, but for like 200 people, if you can believe it. So I'm very used to these small kind of quarters. Oh, and let me turn on my fan so I don't set off the smoke alarm again. See what gets that crispy char? That's from the cornstarch. Looks like that side of the pan's a little hotter right now. So I got this thin cut because it's going to be easy to stack at the end and chop up really nice and thin for the onigiri. I thought I was going to need these, I actually don't. Let's take a quick break and have ourselves a drink. I love that cornstarch crispy. Getting that, how to say, barbecue char in a regular kitchen. Yes, I know, I touched raw meat with this glove. I'm being very careful too. Like, what was that guy in that one in Zoolander with the case around his hand and not touch anything? Because I don't want to keep like re-gloving when I'm going in and out of that pan to get all this stuff out. So, we're Edward Scissorhanding it. And then once we are done and we chop up everything, I like to give it one last little bit of gochujang and the soy sauce in that final bowl before we start making our onigiri, just to give it a little extra sauce inside the rice ball. Our onsen tamago is going and going. They're having a nice little bath. Let's grab our cooking chopsticks. Give those a little stir. Give this guy a flip. That front of that pan is just really that much hotter right now. Jeez. So yeah, see how that one came out charred and that one didn't? Turn them around because that one's cooked good through. That one's not, so then we'll maybe flip this one. It'll be good. Our curry sauce is getting there. Which, speaking of the curry sauce, I'm still one-handing this. No raw meat has been on the cutting board, so I can do that. Ah, it's looking good. One bad thing about these thin cuts of meat is they like to pop socket, or whatever those popper toys things are. Little rubber piece that you invert. Deglaze that pan, get all those nice flavorful crispy bits up. But yeah, this is a combination of a bunch of comfort foods for me. Went to a very Asian-dominated high school, so a lot of people were Japanese, hang out with some Koreans in college. The part of the city I'm in has a big Hawaiian influence as well. So we were making Loco Moco Onigiri with gochujang and just good spices. So this is a very Japanese, Korean, Hawaiian fusion onigiri. I almost get my hand back. Then I have something to do with you. And then I gotta clean cutting board. And I gotta chop the meat. Finish the curry sauce. Rice should be getting there. Yep. We're making good progress. Ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if there's any ladies. I know there's the single gentleman who these videos are for. Scrape the pan, get those chunky bits off, get all that spices back up onto the meat. Rotate our meat because our pan is doing weird heat things tonight, even though it's in the center of the damn burner. Ah, there's the beat for the rice. It's starting its countdown. Our curry water is getting there. Once we finish this, we will transfer this to the counter, remove our just buffer pan, move that to the front so I have a little more access. Hey, last two pieces. I'm actually very much enjoying this cut of meat right now. This has been very easy to marinate and manipulate in the pan. Clean as we go. Or at least soak as we go. Hey, I get my hands back. Oh. This is Mr. Shrimp's. My daughter picked it out at like a tattoo, flash tattoo thing. He's our little cooking buddy. Okay, that water is hot. Fun fact, because I used to work in the kitchen and was touching hot pans and all that all the time, this hot water barely does anything to my hands anymore. Never touch the water when I've been washing dishes. You will burn yourself. Oh, that is the most beautiful one I've gotten yet. Look at that perfect char. Oh, no, never mind. And the last of the oil is getting used up. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I just used that glove instead of the damn thing. Darn it. Alright, let's come on back. Get this as dry as we can. That's good. We can put our hot ass pan in the sink. I think I'm done with these. Okay. Meat over to here to rest. Let's move our buffer pan. That's been brought to a boil, so that can get brought to the front. Man, I'm making good time. Let's see how much time on the rice. 8 minutes. Drink break before the next step. The rum's not gone. Alright, now what I like to do with the curry, I'm sure everyone else online has said this too, cut it up. And not just the obvious cut lines. Makes it cook much easier, and you don't get that random chunk of curry brick when you're eating it later. Now, I'm omitting all the steps on the instructions about adding the meat and all that. I'm literally just adding a slightly less amount of water than it calls for. Actually, I'll need that knife. Got my little transfer guy. Into the pan. And this is where some chopstick skills come in handy. I don't need fire torch curry smell in my kitchen. I like curry, but not that much. And then you mix. Turn back on and simmer. Curry sauce is easy. Man, when I learned how to make it myself, it's just, get brick, cut up, put in water, boil, simmer. I was like, man, I'm never buying this at the store again. Or I mean, from a Japanese restaurant. Chicken katsu curry is delicious. And I don't care if the meat gets a little curry stuff on it. What do I care? We're trying to get these flavors all together. Need my scraper. These all looked like they were the same kind of cut at the same time, slice. So, yeah, they're lining up like pieces of wood cut from the same tree. Yeah, let's do 4 at a time. Let's do one nice big cut down the middle. I'm trying to think here. Let's do strips like this. Yeah. I'm trying to get thin. Nice and thin. Let's check our curry sauce. Getting nice and thick. That is getting perfect. Alrighty. After dicing this up, this actually opened up into a lot more meat than I expected. There's our rice. Man, we're making perfect time. Alrighty. That's all of our beef. That opened up into quite a pile. Alrighty. Gotta wash our cutting board real quick because we're gonna need it. Just a quick rinse. It had cooked meat on it. It's fine. We're cooking for home, not an industrial kitchen where we need to obey all the rules hardcore. I'm being clean. Alrighty. My hands need to dry for a minute, so let's clean up. Let's find a bowl for that meat. Actually, I'm going to need a bunch of spoons here. One last little squirt, gochujang and soy sauce. Good mix. Let's give it a taste. Oh, it's excellent. Oh, it's absolutely delicious. Alrighty. Curry sauce done. Onsen tamago. I like to give it one last little. I like to give it a little bit of a warm up just to cook any last little bit of egg. We're getting to the fun part, ladies and gentlemen. My fresh nori. That out of the way. There we go, look at that rice. Yeah, plenty sticky. Scrapey scrape all the extra. That's the sticky stuff that we want. Alrighty. Oh, very close, ladies and gentlemen. When I say ladies and gentlemen, I really hope there's ladies and gentlemen, plural. Otherwise, it's for you, and you know who you are. Dang it, that hand got a little wet. Let's try and get that friction to clear it off. Should be good. soy sauce can go away. Gochujang can go away. So I use this nori every time. It's just done good for me. So I like to fold it in half. Oh, and this will make, for me at least, I like just a little bit of seaweed at the bottom. This will make 8 rice balls. Then I fold those in half lengthwise. I trust that small snip a lot better than the long ones. And then, so there's the rough side and the shiny side. I like rough side up. Let me think as I'm grabbing this. Yeah, so shiny side down as I'm putting it in my little container. Alrighty. Rough side, shiny side. That goes back in its place in the pantry. Alrighty, so I like to just put on some gloves because this can get kind of sticky with the rice. And actually, one other thing, if your hands or gloves or whatever you're using gets sticky with the rice, keep a cup of water on hand. Actually, preferably hot. Well, if I could keep a grip. Or help get the starch off. Alright, here we go. Good spoonful of rice in each, or two. A little bit more. And what I like to do is, with using each of the sides, press down with a bit of an angle. Makes this little pocket in the middle, perfect for putting our little scoop of meat. Try to keep the meat away from the edges. Makes it a little harder to seal. More rice on top. See, get sticky. And a cup will rub, all good. Press down, flip, push, a little shake. There's one. There's two. Barely tap the edge. Tiniest bit of the edge, so it wraps all the way around. I'm going to line these up nice in 2 rows for this little plan I got at the end. I've never done this before. First time. Y'all are here to see it. Good food can be simple, and sometimes it's got a lot of steps. It's meditative. I enjoy making this meal. And this one is specifically something that my wife and kid won't eat. So this is one of those meals I make when they're not home, which they're not. Visiting grandma and family. I have to work tomorrow. A little too much in that one. There we go. Alrighty. Row 1 done. Alrighty. I'm trying to think of a name for this dish because this is the first time I'm doing it with all of these different ingredients. I've never put curry sauce and an onsen egg on top. So I'm trying to think of a name. What I'm coming to is Pacific Fusion, because that's the kind of genre it is. But name-wise, I'm thinking Ring of Fire, because all of the countries that this is kind of based on all, I believe, hit that fault line throughout the Pacific for all those volcanoes. And this is kind of spicy. Yeah. Let's go with that. Ring of Fire, Local Moco Onigiri. And if I had a restaurant, this would be on the menu. Along with a couple other dishes, my churro bread pudding with butter rum sauce would definitely be on the dessert menu. Honestly, it might be the only thing on the dessert menu. It takes a lot of work. I would literally, it's like a, oh, geez, let me think. Like 3-4 hour thing to make and cook. So it's not easy. So I'd have to literally have like multiple pans of it on rotation through the fridges and ovens and being made throughout the day. And my fusion chicken sandwich is not what you think when you think chicken sandwich. It is Jamaican jerk chicken with a Caribbean elote slaw, pickled onions and carrots on that sweet Hawaiian burger bun with fries coated in a onion curry ketchup, which I've converted to shallot curry ketchup because I've developed an allergy to onions, which sucks. And I'm doing a cooking channel that you'll never see any onions on. I apologize. I will mention when I would have used onions. When I was a sous chef, I was not allergic. Later on in life, I developed the allergy. Tell me about it. It sucks. So I will tell you when I would use onions in a dish. This is not one of those times, though. No onions in this. No shallots. I'll most likely be frying an egg for breakfast, having it with that leftover rice, and what will be also the leftover curry sauce. As they said on Futurama that one time, that Bender was on Iron Chef, and the loser is doomed to scrub. Unfortunately, I was the only one playing this cooking show, so I am both the winner and the loser. And I'll have loco moco for breakfast. I can have some teriyaki rice bowl for lunch. But let's do this. Actually, no. No ladle. I'm gonna be smart about this. I just made an extra dish. Whatever. Brush. Cooking brush. Not trying to get a stupid large amount where I can't eat it. And I found that these rubber brushes put that perfect amount of sauce on these onigiri. Alrighty. Yes, I did just reach into what was boiling water at one point. I told you. I have heat retention. No, it didn't work. No, it got too cooked. The onsen egg is the bane of my cooking. I am still trying to get it good, but these jammy yolks I can work with. Little bit of jammy egg on that first bite. I was going to try and get the onsen tamago, so it's like this, where you poach the egg essentially in the shell, and it's kind of liquidy. I was going to stir it up and then pour it across. But you work with what happens. Sometimes you got to pivot. So there you go. Rinse off the hands. But slight disappointment at the end. One day I'll get that onsen tamago in a video correct. Trust me. It's the bane of my... It's my Moby Dick of cooking. We'll get there. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ring of Fire, Fusion, Lokomoko, Onigiri. As my other favorite cooking channel on YouTube says, surf forth and enjoy. See you next time, guys.